You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And today we are here with Megan Boggs and Rory Nolan, the directors of The Miracle on 34th Street over at the Olde Glory Theatre in Seward, Nebraska. That's Olde Glory Theatre. You spell that old with an E on the end if you go looking for them online. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the little podcast.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming on. I'm so excited for this production for you guys. And this is something that you have, this is kind of your first time of directing.
First time directors.
Yes, first time. But so far, so good.
So good. All right.
So how did that come about?
We've both been in a couple of productions. We've been in two together.
Okay.
My story of getting into the actual play stuff itself is its own ordeal. That makes it sound very dramatic. It's not dramatic. But it just ended up being that we didn't have a director for the show, and they were kind of offering stuff around and asking. And Megan and I had kind of already done some of that stuff before, just between like directors being out, like having to pick up the slack and stuff like that. And so it ended up being that we kind of volunteered together, got a lot of help, but mostly did the show ourselves. So.
Yeah. And we figured that being first timers, if we worked together, then hopefully we could have all the bases covered. I could kind of handle a lot of the communication organization side of it. And Rory could do all the rest.
Listeners can't see, but I'm just breathing deeply because I'm thinking about all the calendars that I would have had to arrange without her. Spreadsheets scare me. So.
I understand.
And I love them, so it all works out.
So how did you guys get involved with Olde Glory Theatre?
Well, for me, it started out actually through my kids. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they were having auditions for a Christmas play that my son wanted to audition for. And so he ended up being in that show. And then next year rolled around and, another Christmas play. Let's give it a try again. And so they were the first ones that were involved. And then the year that we did It's a Wonderful Life, they needed lots of extra people, and I said, all right, well, it's been a few years since I've been on the stage, but sure, I'll give it a try.
Right. So you've been in several productions.
I've just been in 2 of them, but my kids have been involved in more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And what about you, Rory?
Well, I don't know if I've told you this. It's not really a story, but it's interesting. So I saw, something about like a local theater thing going around, and I was in the middle of doing high school, and this was like three-ish years ago, and I saw a kind of, not like an ad, but that kind of thing for an old-fashioned melodrama. And I had to have my girlfriend at the time persuade me into it. I was just so nervous with classwork and stuff like that. I had to have my partner actually push me into it. And I have been thankful ever since, just because it's been such a wonderful thing. But literally it was just seeing that and then finally being able to go there, and then I was hooked and I had to see every single production through that I could. So
and it's kind of fun just with a small town theater like Olde Glory. You do get a lot of the same people involved in productions, and so it becomes like your little theater family, and then you don't want to stop being involved.
Right, right. Well, that's the catch, I think. That's how they reel you in. So tell us a little bit about this production. You had auditions. Is it a big cast?
Miracle on 34th Street, very recognizable show.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. It's kind of making the rounds this year.
It has been.
And why did you guys decide to choose this, or did you guys choose this?
We didn't actually.
Okay.
This was chosen way back in July for us, I think, by the board. So the way Olde Glory works a lot of the time is they have a bunch of members that make the play stuff happen, and it's mostly just people that have been there for a long time and directed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Board of directors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had some of our people choose this script. That would have been a whole task unto itself, but it was chosen way back in July. And honestly, they just always go for like really, really nice classic shows that are really recognizable. I think 3 years ago they did A Christmas Carol, so my ears perked up. That was actually my first Old Glory show that I've ever seen. Yeah, it was like a Christmas Carol mock-up, basically, where like the stage was falling down and stuff. It was awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then we did It's a Wonderful Life. We've done A Christmas Story.
Which was so much fun.
Oh, that was, My son was Ralphie. I just couldn't get over him in the pink bunny costume.
Fun. Somebody got to make see, I'm a costumer. Somebody got to make the pink bunny outfit. That would be just so much fun. I would like to make one for me. What a great! I didn't realize that they had made that into a play, though. Even
Christmas Story.
Yeah, it's actually a
never
nice
seen it.
adaptation.
It's
Really?
I have not seen it, but I've heard it's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, that one sounds good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually ended up doing that one as A Christmas in July because we couldn't have it in December because of COVID.
Excellent.
And so it was all postponed. And then we ended up kicking off rehearsals again in the summer. And we're wearing all our winter gear on stage and just sweating because it's July.
Oh, no. Well, and you have
awesome,
kind of a renovated
Yeah, it was
building there too. In Seward, right? It's a renovated church.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's a really unique building. It used to be a Presbyterian church, and they converted the sanctuary part into the theater. And then they still utilize like the fellowship hall area for renting it out for parties and things like that.
The way they kind of had it explained to me is that they use that sanctuary area, like it originally had a stage, and then they just kept building on top of it. Like they added another big one, and recently we even added 3 more feet, and we were like, yes, 3 more feet. We get excited even about that much, but the stage is so small in there. I think it's the smallest stage I've ever been on, but I think that's also kind of nice sometimes.
Yeah. And I think it adds a little bit to that charm of the small town theater too.
Sure.
And, since it wasn't originally built to be a theater, they've had to do a lot of adaptations. And so it's a fairly small stage, very tiny backstage, which always makes things interesting.
Yes, especially with a big cast of I think we have 25 or something like that now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and with COVID, I'm sure that has made everything a
Even
little
more
bit
fun.
more
Right.
difficult.
Yes. Yes.
So now you guys have been involved with Old Glory for a while, but first-time directors for both of you here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
First-time directors. So you went through casting and all that. So you are directing people that you know and you have acted with before. What is that
Correct,
like?
yes.
How is this experience? Because you guys are going on pretty soon. New experience. Now you're directing people that you know and you've worked with.
I haven't had too many awkward moments that I thought maybe might come up.
But I can tell she has had a
I know.
few.
I was kind of nervous about casting. I'm kind of casting my friends and family.
Yeah.
Potential nepotism in this.
Right.
Yes, and so actually, I was the one who cast Rory as one of the main characters.
And then I cast her daughter. We told each other that we were positions assured there. So
Yes.
That's funny.
So Rory has the added responsibility of not only directing but being in the production.
Yes, double duty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do a lot of double backing and running and stuff like that. I really get in my steps,
Yeah.
And there's some heavy prop pieces to lift around.
So for someone who doesn't know very much about the movie or the play, is there music? Do you want to kind of give us a little bit of a your take on
Oh, yes, look
on this
back.
adaptation?
Yeah, well, luckily that's another thing that we have a lot of other people to take care of, like lighting and things like that. We have our own idea for music. We've actually got some of our actors singing carols, and that's going to fall into place pretty soon here. Right now, we're kind of just mostly running the full show.
And there's a cute scene in the Macy's department store where the elves put on a little performance. We're looking forward to getting that part choreographed.
Yeah, we get to have a lot of liberty with it. I've never seen the show or the original movie, the 1984 version.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. There have been so many movie versions. You know,
Yes.
the 1940 version, the 1980.
Yeah, and I think they've even done one after that too. I think they've done one in the
Yeah.
2000s too. I think been a few.
So you've stayed away from watching those and directing.
Yes, I usually do. I think
for
the last
you.
2 shows I had seen, our last show like 10 years ago when I was a kid, and I had seen the one before that never when I was a kid. No, but I like to kind of keep it unbiased because I feel like otherwise I'm just going to do what I see in the movie. No, but
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty good to have a clear mind to be able to take it and make it your own and
That's
put your
exactly
own
right.
spin on it.
I had a high school teacher that used to like to do that. We get ready to do a musical. She goes, "Well, let's watch the movie," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to watch the movie." This guy won an Oscar for playing that part. I'm not going to watch him do that.
Right.
No, I'm going to do is imitate him.
It feels like at kids' concerts when they make them do the Just Dance songs instead of like coming up for actual music. I can literally hear the sound of the Just Dance stars and stuff like that in the background. Only it's like taking from somebody else's production.
So you're also adding on, and I hope I've read this right, you're adding on some dinner theater onto this production, right? So is that something that you normally do, or is it just on certain
Yeah.
productions, or?
It is.
Long time staple.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. They usually have a couple of shows that are just concessions only, and then a couple of shows that are either a full dinner theater or just a dessert. We usually have our Sunday matinee is dessert.
Oh, neat.
And oh man, I gotta say, those desserts, they're amazing.
That's
Is this the time where we hype up the show, but only specifically the food that
Right.
we get to eat? Yeah, we get all the leftovers on the day before.
Oh, yeah.
The day before the last one.
Yeah, and I think there was just some discussion for the concession shows. We might have some like Christmas cookies and hot chocolate.
They were really pushing for that, like earlier this year.
Such a
It was
great
one of the main defining points. I think going into the next show, we have to have milk and cookies. It's Santa Claus.
Oh, yes.
Santa
That's a
Claus.
great idea.
Yeah, you do have a Santa Claus in this.
Our Santa Claus was actually a point of challenge for us. He was the last one to cast, and we casted him 2 days before we started rehearsals. And to give you a time frame, we did auditions the first day 2 weeks before the start of rehearsals. So we had a lot of
Okay.
difficulty. Everyone we kind of passed through, had prior business and stuff
Or
like
said,
that.
they didn't want to agree to it because there were too many lines to memorize.
Oh,
Exactly.
my gosh.
We were a little afraid that the show might not even happen since we
yeah,
couldn't
you gotta
find
have
a Santa.
Santa.
Yeah, you have to have Santa.
Well, now, and speaking of this, challenges, being first-time directors, this was perhaps an unexpected challenge, casting Santa. Any other surprising challenges that as you hit it, you went, oh, I didn't think I had to deal with this? or just like, oh, yeah, of course I have to do that. But you didn't think
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like there have been one or two bigger ones, but, I think we've mostly been able to take stuff in stride.
Yeah, and thankfully we have a lot of help. Joanne and Denise are two of the Old Glory board members, and they help with sets and props and costumes.
They
and
do so
they're
much. It's
fabulous.
crazy.
And
And they've been doing it for years, way longer than us. So.
great.
Cool.
And so that lifts a weight off of our shoulders.
That is nice.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun down there. I'm really glad that we got a chance to talk.
Yeah, it is a good time. And
Yes, and
this
you
cast
guys-
has a wide range of ages. We have everywhere from like first graders up to our judge, who I think he was pretty proud of the fact that he's 85 years old
Yes.
and
Gosh.
still out there acting. So.
Excellent.
I think we have an 80-year gap. which is
Yeah.
it's so impressive.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Now, of course, Olde Glory, just to remind everybody, Olde Glory is in Seward, Nebraska. Now, where exactly, for those of us here in fashionable Louisville,
another small town.
Another small town. Where exactly is Seward?
So Seward is about 25, 30 minutes west of Lincoln. So not a far drive from the capital city at all.
No, not far at all.
It's a beautiful drive, actually, on Highway 34.
Cool.
And
Better than the
we're
interstate,
very
sounds like.
close to the downtown area of Seward. And so they're actually having a big Christmas festival here the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So come to that and get your tickets to the theater too.
25, 30 minutes from Lincoln, that's no big deal. Takes
So-
us 25, 30 minutes just to get to Omaha from here. So there you go.
So it's just a one weekend run, December 8th through the 12th, right? Is that how I understand
That's
it?
correct,
Just
yep.
one weekend.
Yes.
So you've got
5 days, not bad.
one show on Monday or Sunday, right? Sunday at 2.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a volunteer production, so we take a lot of people's time. They're giving up a lot.
Yeah, especially if you have a lot of kids in the production, keeping them
Yes.
Which we do.
engaged
Yep.
for long periods of time is a task unto
Yeah,
itself.
definitely.
Right.
That is one thing I was unprepared for, I guess, but I should have expected, having
Yes.
casted so many kids. We had as many kids as adults when we casted the show. And it's interesting that you mentioned having a wide range of actors, because I was thinking in my head the versatility of all those actors, because we have a lot of people playing
Yes.
double roles,
Oh, okay.
So that was another little challenge, getting enough people, but it ended up working really nicely. We kind of had our own little miracle.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. So it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 6:30. Well, the doors open at 6:30. The show starts at 7. Then Saturday you've got your dinner theater, and the dinner starts at 6:30, and the show starts at 7:15. And Sunday at 2:00, and desserts served at the intermission.
Excellent.
Food and theater, always good.
Love it. Food and theater, nothing better. Well, thank you very much, Megan Boggs and Rory Nolan. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you again for inviting us, and
Yeah.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
working with our schedules.
Perfect. Well, the show is Miracle on 34th Street. The theater is Olde Glory Theatre. That's old with an E, Glory Theater, if you want to check them out online. And thank you guys very much for talking.
Thank you. So nice to meet you both.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Music for this podcast was used with permission by Screaming Skull Productions. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.